All right, is there anyone out there who doesn't want to cook a whole turkey for Thanksgiving? It happens. Maybe you don't have enough people to feed or you just like certain pieces. Well, today I'm going to take some turkey pieces, brine them up overnight, season them with some great rub, and smoke them up out on the Weber Kettle so we can have some fantastic turkey. Yeah, sometimes you just don't want to do a whole turkey, or maybe you can't get the turkey you want, but you can get pieces. Well, that's what I've got here today. I've got the pieces of the turkey that I like the most. I've got thighs and a half breast. And so we're going to be taking these and brining them. Now, brining them is a way to add flavor, add moisture, and really get that turkey ready for the high heat that you're going to use to cook it. So let's go ahead and make our brine. So I have my 7.5 quart Cambro here. This will be plenty of room to hold these pieces and the brine. First thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to add a bunch of water here. That's about 2 quarts. To this I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of brown sugar, 1/4 cup of kosher salt, and a 1/4 cup of a coarsely ground black pepper. And we're going to mix this up. Now we're going to get our turkey pieces in here, and then we'll add water if we need to cover it. Get our breast in here first, our thighs, we're going to add a little more water here. That's looking good. Get our lid on. That's it. This is going in the refrigerator overnight. Tomorrow we'll take these pieces out, dry them off, season them up, and smoke them up out on the Weber Kettle. All right, our turkey pieces have been brining overnight. It's now time to get them out of the brining liquid, pat them dry, and get them seasoned up so we can get them out to the Weber Kettle. Now, one thing is, if you use a brine with other things in there that are very granular, like any whole peppercorns, things like that, you may want to rinse off your turkey pieces before you dry them. The brine that I used are all very fine, you know, some really coarsely ground black pepper, salt, some brown sugar, so I'm not going to worry about rinsing them off. If you want to rinse it off, no problem. I don't mind leaving a little bit of the dry bits of the brine on the bird. So let's transfer these to a rack and start drying them off. So I have a rimmed baking sheet here with just a rack on it, and we're going to put our pieces on here, dry them off, and then move them to the seasoning rack. I'm going to take paper towels, get that surface dried off. There will be a little bit of moisture left, and that's okay. The rub we're going to put on these will have something to grab onto. You want to get the majority of the surface moisture off. Really especially important to try and get that skin as dry as possible. A lot of times I will air dry turkey or chicken overnight in the refrigerator to dry that skin out. Helps to be less rubbery. If you have any extra little bits of skin that are just sort of hanging there, go ahead and cut them off. Let's get our turkey breast out here and get this dried off. All right, let's get these seasoned up. Now I'm going to be seasoning these in a bowl. It just helps keep the mess down a bit. And the rub here is really up to you. I'm going to be using a rub I really like. It's the Adkins Western Barbecue Seasoning. I've used it many times on many different things. Really good rub. We're going to give a really good coating here. And again, if there's something you like in terms of seasoning, a different rub, just a seasoning combination you like, or nothing at all, go ahead. Get our turkey breast seasoned up here. You may be wondering, why didn't you do like legs or leg quarters? Well, I've done a video on turkey legs before, really good, but I'm really partial to the thighs, and I know a lot of people just like the breast meat too, so I'm gonna make that. All right, here are our turkey pieces on a rack. Just giving them a last minute little dusting. Looking good to me. Let's get them out to the Weber Kettle. All right, the Weber Kettle is coming up to temp. Let's get our turkey pieces on. Get the thighs closest to the heat source here. Get our turkey breast right here. My temperature probes in. Running one for the breast and one for one of the thighs. I'm going to get a couple pieces of peach wood on here. We'll let those catch quickly and then we'll get our lid on. All right, that's looking good. Let's get our lid on and get smoking. The kettle temperature I'm going for today is somewhere between 350 and 400. Internal temperature of the turkey we're going for is 165. Somewhere around 140, we're going to glaze these pieces. So I'll see you back here when it's time to glaze them. So while our turkey pieces are smoking out there on the Weber Kettle, I want to get a glaze ready because we are going to glaze these near the end. What I'm starting with is a half a cup of maple syrup. To this I'm going to add maybe a tablespoon of a stone ground mustard. This is a stone ground Dijon, but you can really use any mustard you like here. It's about a tablespoon. Now I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of barbecue sauce. Pick your favorite barbecue sauce. This is a very tangy sort of Carolina barbecue sauce I'm using. All right, we're going to go ahead and mix this together. Let's get a little taste here. Sweet with just those hints of the mustard and the barbecue sauce. This is going to go great on those turkey pieces. All right, I'll see you back outside when it is time to glaze those turkey pieces. All right, we've been going about 30 minutes now, and I want to take a look, and there's a big divergence on temperature. The thighs are about 25 degrees ahead of the breast. Not unexpected because the size of the breast and the proximity of the thighs to the fire source. But let's take a look. So I think what I want to do here is I want to swap positions. Get our thighs in the back here. And we'll let that keep going until we get close to 140. And I didn't mention it before, but my bottom vent is at 2/3 open and my top vent is fully open. All right, the thighs are right around 140 degrees. The breast is behind that by about 35 degrees. So I'm going to go ahead and glaze the thighs now. Oh, these smell good. All right, I'm going to get the lid on, let these keep smoking. All right, the turkey breasts are approaching 140. The turkey thighs are about 165. They can go beyond 165. People take them off into 175, 180, so I'm okay with that. We'll let those keep going, but we're going to glaze that turkey breast now. Looking good. All right, let's get the lid back on, let these finish up. I'll pull the turkey thighs as soon as they hit about 175, and I'll pull the breast when it hits 160, 165. All right, the turkey thighs are approaching 175. I want to do a spot check with a Thermapen, see if they're close. If they are, we're going to pull them. Let me check this guy first. That one's showing 169. It's 168. That one's 172. So I'm going to let these go for a few more minutes while the breast plays catch up. It's about 15 degrees away from 165. All right, we've been going another 10 minutes. Let's check these thighs. I think it's time to pull them. Yeah, that one's showing 173, 174. All right, the thighs are ready to come off. As soon as the breast hits about 165, I'll pull that, bring that in, so I'll see you inside. And here we go, our turkey pieces, these maple glazed smoked turkey pieces. Now the thighs took about an hour and a half. The turkey breast took about an hour and 50 minutes. Now that's not unexpected, and I'm pretty darn happy with the way everything looks and smells. Now I was not going for crispy skin with this. If I was, I would have gone at a much higher temperature. It would have been a quicker cook, but I wanted flavor. I wanted that maple glaze on the skin, and boy, it sure looks good. So let's cut in. Let's see, I'm gonna pick, I'll go with this thigh right here. We'll cut that one first. Nice. Oh, look at that. That is looking really good. Every time I do turkey or chicken, I always say the thigh meat is my favorite. This is why. All right, let's cut into the breast. Very juicy. That's one of the things about brining. It really helps in the moisture, especially with the drier meat, the breast meat. Man, that looks good. Let's cut some pieces of this. Now I let this rest for about 15 minutes before I carved into it. It's still plenty hot. Just see, I want to cut some of these thigh pieces into bite-sized pieces because it is time to taste. So I'm just going to go to town here. Let's see how we did. I'm going to go for some of that thigh meat first. If you can brine a whole turkey, do it. But sometimes that's difficult. You have to have a large enough space to keep that turkey cold while it's brining. Whether that's a refrigerator or it's an ice chest where you have to keep replenishing the ice to keep it cold enough to be safe. But turkey pieces you can do in a smaller container just like you saw me do. And man, the results are awesome. Now some of that breast meat. Let's see. Moist, flavorful, and that glaze. I just love doing a glaze on turkey or chicken. There's just something about applying that layer of flavor near the end of the cook that just tops it all off. So if making a whole turkey is too much for you, do not hesitate to try making just the pieces. And if you can, brine it. Give it some good time and smoke out on the Weber Kettle or any smoker or grill, and you're going to have fantastic, tender, juicy, flavorful turkey.